That one.
This screen found A to Z Contemporain is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about, unless he was lying.
Try to peek in the window.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers.
Try the door handle.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Kim, how are we going to get this open?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Really?
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
Fair enough. No, I want to get that.
This screen found A to Z Contemporain is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's
Great. How do I use it though? Oh, like this.
This screen found A to Z Contemporain. Pry bar in hand, you take a hard swing at the window. A loud thunk rings out and the pry bar bounces back, leaving a goddamn maggot. Drag your Looks like the window might be shatterproof. You may have to rethink your approach. Another futile thunk.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
He smashes it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor.
Stronger than us.
Pavement.
Nice.
You can just reach in now.
I probably weakened it for him.
It went better than I expected.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Pull out the pull-out toolbox.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Unfold the newspaper.
It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Pick up the note.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system. These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Push the toolbox back in.
Pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest.
Peel off the
Rest
cover on the
is,
passenger
as
seat.
Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachon. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Bonne prise.
Ford open the topmost map.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock, and this person knows them all. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881, high above the mass of brown and red roofs that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
Where does the road lead?
To Kuron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
Ford opened the second map.
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. Wind rips through the empty hallways of the once great military hospital, now just a ruin under an overgrown park. Beneath the hospital, great sewer tunnels hum and vibrate with life of their own.
What is the sound?
The rattle of motor carriages and lorries driving through long-forgotten tunnels, lit by gaslights.
Look at the third map.
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake.
Oh, I disconnected something accidentally.
Despite the cold, figures move about cloaked in shadow, their breath escaping in white clouds that fade into the darkness. Wherever you look, the night gives cover to her messengers.
Where are they going?
They travel from eminent domain to perdition and onto the main, over the River Esperance, on Route 881 to the Old South. The exit ramp is supposed to be shut down, but there's much activity. The road spreads like the tentacles of a great octopus. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
The smugglers have infiltrated the motor tract.
So it would seem. The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them.
Where does this contraband end up?
Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. It doesn't reveal much about the Besmerti behind it.
Besmerti, that sounds vaguely familiar.
The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes. But really they're just violent gangs vying for control on the west side of Revachol. With cool names like La Puta Madre and Aura Masta. It's a dark parody.
Who do you think is behind this?
It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains the most likely suspect. Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they haven't ended well for those involved.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany it. Especially bad news for cops who may have something in their past they don't even know is there.
Shut up, man. Return the stack of papers under the seat.
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics go over the lorry and pick this up later.
The stack of maps looks just like before.
Check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
It's the person we're looking for, because their soul has been worn out. Looks like the driver has glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle to offer some extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
The sandpaper would also rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole. Oh, that's the other way around.
Yes?
One of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration. One sole was smoother than the other.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
And she's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful.
Now we know for certain who's the missing eighth person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
Not necessarily. The lead driver could have kept the drug trade a secret.
You're right. But we should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter. Are we finished with the lorry?
The movie stars are still smiling.
Admire
from
the
vault.
posters.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
What's that smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume. Probably grenade number 5.
Study the centerfold.
The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bare. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly. This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
What happened to her?
She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here, on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world, and the camera, too. The actresses.
Examine the radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. With quite a range, too.
Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
What else is here?
The ghostly
Okay,
actresses
we're done.
enclose the rock.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce? All right. We've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Seems like something police would do. What do you think of all this, Kim?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
This means it's well-funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it.
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Listening in on your calls between you and your station, a worrying prospect.
Oh, and the maps we found. They reveal the geographical extent of the operation. Looks like they've used abandoned tunnels and access roads to stay hidden. This is useful info. And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching. This may be the Union connection we've been searching for.
So it turns out this is connected to the Union.
Like Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other ends, as extra ammunition.
Will the RCM open an investigation into this?
We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
What are you thinking?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Okay, debrief over.
Debrief over. After.
Okay, let's fix our authority. Don't have anything that gives authority. What's hurting her? Oh, the glasses. Let's try and talk to the Hardy Boys if they're still around. I should get this out of my hand. Oh, we can use this actually.
Whoa. In your hand, Pyrrolidon, the double rainbow of synthetic hallucinogens, rare and gritty, a product of the age of atomic power.
Look at the little puck of liquid.
What a funny little cap. Don't let the scary medical warnings throw you off. It's an inadequate antidote to radiation poisoning, but a potent antidote to boredom.
Open the cap.
The container is warm to the touch. Or is that just the anticipation? You screw the lid open and look. A little slit on the side lets you just slurp it up. Like an oyster. Come on.
Slurp it, but only a little.
You suck a minuscule drop of extremely chemical-smelling liquid into your mouth. There, it seeps into your tongue. When you swallow, it's already almost all gone.
Tastes like an anti-radiation drug.
It tastes like many things, all melting into one conflagration in the back of your throat. As you look around, the world slowly exists, as it did before. Only now, gentle flames lick at its edges, as though it were a photo burning.
Really?
No, of course not really. It's just a metaphor. The effect of that otherworldly drop of liquid is slower, more subtle than that of real flames, yet just as warm. This warmth, it makes you want to share your discovery with Kim.
This is going to be so useful in my line of work.
Already you can tell you're going to be slurping a lot more Pyrrolidon. This stuff is going to give you insight into that little flickering light hidden in all human beings.
In the bottom right.
Yeah.
Look, the insane police officer is back.
The small man mimes, blowing his brains out. You see his rat face contorted in mock despair, his fingers touching his temple. There's laughter in the room. Try not to kill yourself this time.
Guess what? I connected you to the local drug trade.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 kilos.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
No, do the honor, you earned it.
Thank you. You're right, Titus. There is no local drug trade because it's all controlled by you. You're the drug trade.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
Good idea. People are always going to do drugs. At least this way you have some control over it.
Thank you. Theoretically, of course. Thank you. Theoretically.
Titus, I'm amazed. Where is the same professionalism when it comes to other topics? You're doing great. I hardly have to interfere at all.
I don't know, Lizzie. I guess theoretical things don't make me emotional. Now, was there anything else? I was sorta gonna get my brewski on.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy boys here.
One sec. Wait. Ooh, I'll eat in a bit. I'll finish soon. The 8 Hardy, the one who's missing, she runs the thing, right?
My answer is fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints. Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
I want to try this.
You
Shit.
have so many bad options ruled out. It's insane. There is no way in the world you won't do it this time.
Kim, I'm only getting total garbage here. Please help.
You know what? You guys must be the cops. Because this is what cops do, right? Live in a bar, sit on their fat asses like they own
Wow,
the place,
Kim.
while the neighborhood goes to shit. Corpses hang from trees. Kids shoot up.
Hey, we don't have to fucking take this shit.
Glenn.
Everyone shut up! Fuck you, man. You didn't see the place before we got here. Fucking graffito everywhere.
Is that your problem, Mel?
Congratulations on the graffito removal.
Oh, nice one, Kim.
All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim.
So what? What do you want from me? We took care of that fuck.
Don't let him drink that. One more push. Quick.
It's not about who did it, it's about the victim. She needs help.
Titus?
She stops mid-sentence. That's it. He's going to give it up, but on his terms.
You wanna help her, cop? Fine. I'm gonna let you help her. But you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her, a freight train of pain, buddy.
What is her name?
Clausia.
Oh, it's Kasia.
She's staying here at the Whirling in Rags. A real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit. Blonde. That's Amonju with an O-U.
Shit. The girl. The girl upstairs? That can't be her. She knows you drank so hard you forgot you were a cop.
Miss Orange Disco Dancer?
Sure. Why not? You've probably seen her around.
Oh man.
You inexplicably add
What lucky!
the victim's
What a
name,
lucky throw!
but no one notices. Your spine is too damn straight. None of these people would ever suspect you've met her. Calm, normal, Try to forget this little hiccup.
Thank you, we'll talk to her.
Remember what I said.
Holy shit. We're doing great police work here. But still. Can we like spit on her or something?
I've got nothing to say to you.